Hello guys and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. Today in the review box we have the 1989 Mercedes-Benz 560 SEC AMG from Hot Wheels. This is an all-new casting for 2023, debuted in the G case I believe. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at this one and see if it is worth adding to your collections. As always, let's go ahead and get started with our casting. Take a quick look just at our proportions and everything here. We will see that they are pretty good. I would say they are just fine. Nothing to complain about there. We'll go ahead and pop the real life car up in the top right corner here. And something that I do want to go over right from the beginning is we'll kind of make our way back to front here, or front to back, sorry. We are missing this like center grille section here. So maybe there was a version of this car that lacked that, and that's what we're seeing represented here, but I can't seem to find one that's missing this bar section, so that is a little bit disappointing. However, what grille sections we do get are all casted in really nicely. So this has all got a lot of fine details casted in. So make your way down the hood. The hood has got all the body lines you'd want. The fenders flared out as you would like to see, all body lines going down the center. We do get a door handle. We do get mirrors on this casting. If we come to the roof, this is where the second little oddity pops up in the casting itself. We get this weird thing on the roof. I have found pictures of a car that does have something like this popping out of the roof. However, to me, it looks like the sunroof that's just popping up. And if that's the case, and this car really does have a sunroof up here, and they just casted a sunroof popped up into the hood instead of using the window piece to make it an actual sunroof, that is beyond bizarre to me. And I hope that that's something that's on the real life car that is like an option or something, and maybe someone in the comments can let me know about that. I really hope that's not supposed to be a sunroof. As we make our way to the back, you'll see the exhaust is a piece of the base and it's poking out down there, and all of our body lines that you'd want back here, the spoiler, all casted in very nicely, and our base is pretty basic. So for our paint and deco section, we have pretty much just a basic all black car here. Not really much else to say. This is a really good first choice for the car, I would say. And something we'll get into later is that this particular release, I have a feeling, is going to be most people's favorite release, because it hides one of the biggest glaring errors with this casting and release, I should say. And we'll get into that later. Moving on to the details. And we have arrived at later. Let's talk about it. So this grille, on this release, it looks just fine. This grille is not actually tampoed on, though. So in the silver releases, it's really noticeable that there's no grille here, and it looks truly awful, in my opinion. But for tampo-wise up front, we did get the headlights. We get these little reflectors down here, and we do get the emblem, all done very nicely. So I think this particular release is going to be most people's favorite release of this casting, for that grille reason alone. It's probably not too hard to paint in yourself. You just got to be careful you don't paint over the emblem here. As we make our way down the sides, there's really nothing to speak of detail-wise that wasn't casted in. And then when we come to the back here, you will find that we do get the 560 SEC. You get an AMG logo, your Mercedes logo. We get our taillights, of course, and we also get an AMG license plate. So detail-wise, not too shabby. Does it roll? Well, it's a Hot Wheels mainline, so obviously it rolls. And I went ahead and put it on the scale, and it comes out to be 38.06 grams, which is pretty hefty for a mainline release. Moving into our pros and cons, starting with our pros. This is a mainline release, so you're going to be able to find it for roughly $1, and that is pretty good. The other big pro I'm going to go ahead and give this one is that this particular version does look pretty nice. You can't tell the lack of tampo up front. And this is probably the most famous color for this car anyway. So really does look pretty good. This will be the favorite release for most people, I suspect. Moving into our cons, there are a couple. So the first I will say is these casting oddities. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be like a sunroof up top, and they made it out of non-see-through metal instead of just incorporating it into the window piece for some reason. The other odd choice was the lack of the center bar up front in the grille. Again, possibly there's a version of this car that doesn't have that, but to me it just seems like a weird choice when the majority of these cars seem to have that. And then the other con I'm going to say, although you can't quite tell from this particular release, is again that lack of a grille tampo. I'll go ahead and throw a picture of the silver release up here so you can see it. But yeah, it doesn't look great on the silver one, but thankfully this particular release does hide it. Moving into size comparisons, here we have it with some other Mercedes models that you might have in your collection, with the Matchbox CLK convertible and the Matchbox SL63. And here we have it with some other random cars you might have in your collection, with the BMW 3 Series Touring from Matchbox and the Dodge Charger Hellcat Widebody from Hot Wheels. And with all of that out of the way, it is now time to give my overall thoughts. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 9 out of 10, alright? So this car itself is pretty cool, but it's really not something I was like wildly crazy about, super hyped up, couldn't wait for it to happen. And for that reason, you know, hype, as I've explained in almost all of my videos, plays a big role into the overall score of a casting. That being said, the lack of front tampo on the upcoming releases and the silver one, and the just kind of odd choices with the casting, all kind of meh out for me. And that I just couldn't give it a much higher score than a 9 out of 10 for those. However, this particular release does look pretty good, and I will say that this particular release is going to be the best one. I think I've mentioned that a few times now. And so for those reasons, I still highly recommend this one, especially at the mainline price point. Highly, highly recommend this one to any collector out there, Mercedes fans, or just Hot Wheels fans, or car fans in general. It doesn't matter. If you're really, really persnickety about the little tampo up front, perhaps this release will go premium someday down the line. Alrighty guys, that is going to wrap up this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and leave a comment down below telling me what your thoughts are on this particular casting and release. Let me know what your thoughts are on this weird thing up top, and I will see you in the next video.